Welcome to Funny EHS Info. In today's video, we'll be offering guidance on SBTET Industrial Safety Paper 6, IS106, covering industrial hygiene and occupational health. If you are preparing for exams, this video will help you grasp key concepts and gain the insights needed to excel. Stay tuned as we explore the essentials of industrial safety and health. 1. What is SCBA? SCBA, self-contained breathing apparatus, is a device worn by firefighters and other personnel to provide breathable air in hazardous environments. To define ergonomics. Ergonomics is the study of designing equipment and workspaces to fit the physical needs and capabilities of the user to improve comfort and efficiency. 3. Define threshold limit value, TLV. TLV is a guideline for the maximum concentration of a hazardous substance in the workplace air, which workers can be exposed to without adverse effects. 4. Define heat stress. Heat stress occurs when the body cannot adequately cool itself, leading to overheating and potential health issues like heat exhaustion or heat stroke. 5. What is meant by IDLH and narrate with details. IDLH, immediately dangerous to life or health, refers to conditions where exposure to a hazardous substance poses an immediate risk to life or health, requiring immediate protective measures. 6. List out the adverse effects of noise. Adverse effects of noise include hearing loss, stress, sleep disturbances, and impaired communication. 7. What are the risk factors of WMSDs? Risk factors for work-related musculoskeletal disorders, WMSDs, include repetitive motions, awkward postures, excessive force, and prolonged periods of static work. 8. List out notifiable diseases in Schedule 3 of the Factories Act, 1948. Notifiable diseases in Schedule 3 include lead poisoning, mercury poisoning, asbestosis, and pneumoconiosis. 9. Define biomonitoring. Biomonitoring is the measurement of chemicals or their metabolites in biological specimens, example, blood, urine, to assess exposure levels and health risks. 10. What is the classification of job hazards? Job hazards are classified into physical, chemical, biological, ergonomic, and psychosocial hazards. 11. How do harmful agents enter the human body? Harmful agents can enter the body through inhalation, ingestion, skin absorption, or injection. 12. Define industrial hygiene. Industrial hygiene is the science of anticipating, recognizing, evaluating, and controlling workplace conditions that may cause workers injury or illness. 13. Define air pollution. Air pollution is the presence of harmful substances in the air that can cause adverse health effects and environmental damage. 14. What are the noise levels for face-to-face communication? Noise levels for face-to-face communication are typically around 60 to 70 decibels. 15. Define the short-term exposure limit, STEL. STEL is the maximum concentration of a hazardous substance that workers can be exposed to for a short period, typically 15 minutes, without adverse effects. 16. List out the PPEs for eye protection. PPEs for eye protection include safety glasses, goggles, face shields, and welding helmets. 17. What is acute toxicity and LC50? Acute toxicity refers to the adverse effects resulting from a single exposure to a toxic substance. LC50, lethal concentration 50, is the concentration of a substance in air that causes death in 50% of exposed animals. 18. What is the purpose of medical surveillance programs? Medical surveillance programs monitor workers' health to detect early signs of work-related illnesses and prevent further exposure. 19. Mention the agents causing occupational asthma. Agents causing occupational asthma include allergens like dust, fumes, chemicals, and industrial irritants. 20. What are the common causes of industrial fire? Common causes of industrial fires include electrical faults, flammable materials, improper storage, and human error. 21. What is hypothermia and list out its risk factors? Hypothermia is a condition where the body loses heat faster than it can produce, leading to dangerously low body temperatures. Risk factors include exposure to cold weather, wet conditions, and inadequate clothing. 22. What is the internal temperature of a healthy human body and the effects of heat on the body? The internal temperature of a healthy human body is around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, 37 degrees Celsius. Excessive heat can cause dehydration, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. 23. What is meant by risk management and how can it be advantageous by using the Deming cycle? Risk management involves identifying, assessing, and controlling risks to minimize their impact. The Deming cycle, Plan Do Check Act, helps continuously improve risk management processes through iterative feedback and adjustments. 24. Define short-term exposure limits. Short-term exposure limits are the maximum allowable concentrations of hazardous substances in the workplace air for short periods, typically 15 minutes, to avoid acute health effects. 25. What is PM10? PM10 refers to particulate matter with a diameter of 10 micrometers or less, which can penetrate the respiratory system and cause health problems. 26. What are the benefits of workplace ergonomics processes? Benefits include reduced risk of musculoskeletal disorders, improved comfort and productivity, and decreased absenteeism. 27. What is the maximum weight staff are allowed to lift? The maximum weight staff are allowed to lift varies by regulations and guidelines but generally should not exceed 50 pounds, 23 kilograms, without mechanical assistance. 28. What is the Lockhart-Martinelli parameter? The Lockhart-Martinelli parameter is a dimensionless number used to evaluate two-phase flow in pipelines, indicating the relative importance of gas and liquid phases. 29. What is a rotameter? A rotameter is a device used to measure the flow rate of liquids and gases by observing the position of a floating indicator within a tapered tube. 30. What is the purpose of biological monitoring? The purpose of biological monitoring is to assess the level of exposure to hazardous substances by measuring their concentration in biological samples, ensuring worker safety and health. 31. Discuss the importance of fatigue management. Fatigue management is crucial in maintaining workplace safety and productivity. Fatigue impairs cognitive function, decreases alertness, and increases the risk of errors and accidents. Effective fatigue management involves implementing strategies such as regular breaks, shift rotation, adequate sleep, and workload adjustments. By addressing fatigue, employers can enhance workers' performance, reduce the likelihood of accidents, and improve overall health and well-being. Proper management also includes training employees to recognize signs of fatigue and promoting a culture of safety where fatigue is taken seriously. 30. To compare biological and workplace air monitoring. Biological monitoring and workplace air monitoring are both essential for assessing exposure to hazardous substances but differ in their approaches. Workplace air monitoring involves measuring the concentration of contaminants in the air at the work site to ensure it is within safe limits. It provides immediate data on exposure levels and helps in evaluating the effectiveness of control measures. Biological monitoring, on the other hand, involves analyzing biological samples, such as blood, urine, to detect the presence of contaminants or their metabolites in the body. This method helps in assessing the actual dose absorbed by the worker and can identify exposure that might not be detected through air monitoring alone. Both methods are complementary. Air monitoring provides information on exposure levels, while biological monitoring provides insights into the health impact of that exposure. 33. Explain the process of recognizing and controlling hazards in industrial hygiene. The process of recognizing and controlling hazards in industrial hygiene involves several key steps. Hazard recognition. Identify potential hazards through workplace inspections, employee reports, and historical data. This includes physical, chemical, biological, ergonomic, and psychosocial hazards. Risk assessment. Evaluate the severity and likelihood of the identified hazards causing harm. This involves assessing exposure levels, potential health effects, and the effectiveness of existing controls. Control measures. Implement appropriate control measures to mitigate risks. These can include engineering controls, example, ventilation systems, administrative controls, example, work schedules, personal protective equipment, PPE, and training programs. Monitoring and evaluation. Continuously monitor the effectiveness of control measures and make adjustments as necessary. This involves regular inspections, air and biological monitoring, and employee feedback. Documentation and communication. Document all hazard assessments, control measures, and monitoring results. Communicate these findings to employees to ensure they are aware of potential hazards and safety procedures. 34. Describe musculoskeletal disorders from bad working posture and how to minimize them. Musculoskeletal disorders, MSDS, arise from prolonged or awkward postures, repetitive motions, or excessive force. Common MSDS include back pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, and tendinitis. Poor working posture, such as sitting for extended periods without proper support or repetitive tasks with incorrect body alignment, contributes significantly to these disorders. Minimizing MSDS. Ergonomic design. Ensure workstations are ergonomically designed to support proper posture. This includes adjustable chairs, desks at the right height, and proper tool design. Regular breaks. Implement regular breaks to reduce continuous strain on muscles and joints. Stretching and exercises. Encourage stretching and strengthening exercises to improve flexibility and muscle strength. Training. Provide training on proper lifting techniques and safe work practices. Job rotation. Rotate tasks to prevent repetitive strain and allow different muscle groups to rest. 35. What is hypothermia and list out its risk factors? Hypothermia is a condition where the body's core temperature drops below 95 degrees Fahrenheit, 35 degrees Celsius, leading to impaired bodily functions. It occurs when the body loses heat faster than it can produce it. Risk factors for hypothermia. Exposure to cold weather. Prolonged exposure to cold environments, especially with wet conditions, increases risk. Inadequate clothing. Wearing insufficient or wet clothing that does not provide adequate insulation. Wind chill. Wind can accelerate heat loss from the body, increasing the risk of hypothermia. Physical condition. Individuals who are elderly, very young, or have certain medical conditions may be more susceptible. Inactivity. Prolonged periods of inactivity can reduce heat production and increase the risk of hypothermia. 36. Discuss adverse effects of noise and vibration on employees and the public. Noise. Health effects. Prolonged exposure to high noise levels can lead to hearing loss, tinnitus, ringing in the ears, and increased stress. It can also cause communication difficulties and interfere with concentration. Workplace impact. High noise levels can reduce productivity and increase the risk of accidents due to impaired hearing and communication. Vibration. Health effects. Exposure to vibration can cause hand-arm vibration syndrome, HAVS, and whole-body vibration issues, leading to conditions such as numbness, pain, and reduced grip strength. It can also contribute to back pain and joint problems. Workplace impact. Vibration can cause fatigue and decrease workers' ability to perform tasks efficiently. It can also lead to long-term health issues and reduced quality of life. 37. Explain first aid for suffocation, toxic ingestion, and artificial respiration. Suffocation. First aid. Ensure the airway is clear. If the person is conscious, help them sit up or lean forward. If they are unconscious, perform CPR and seek emergency medical assistance immediately. Toxic ingestion. First aid. Do not induce vomiting unless instructed by medical personnel. If the person is conscious, offer water or milk to dilute the toxin. Seek emergency medical help promptly. Artificial respiration. First aid. If the person is not breathing, initiate CPR. Perform chest compressions followed by rescue breaths. Continue until professional help arrives or the person starts breathing. 38. Discuss the benefits of a comprehensive workplace health and safety program. A comprehensive workplace health and safety program offers numerous benefits. Reduced accidents and injuries. Implementing safety measures reduces the risk of workplace accidents and injuries, leading to fewer lost work days and lower medical costs. Improved employee health. Regular health screenings and wellness programs promote better overall health and reduce absenteeism. Enhanced productivity. A safe work environment leads to increased employee morale and productivity, as workers are more focused and less worried about safety issues. Compliance with regulations. A comprehensive program ensures compliance with health and safety regulations, avoiding legal penalties and fines. Cost savings. Reducing accidents and illnesses lowers insurance premiums and compensation claims, resulting in cost savings for the organization. 39. What are the essential criteria for the selection of respiratory PPE? Criteria for selection. Type of hazard. Identify the specific respiratory hazards, example, dust, fumes, gases, and select PPE that provides adequate protection against those hazards. Fit. Ensure the respirator fits properly and comfortably to provide a good seal and effective protection. Filter efficiency. Choose filters with appropriate efficiency ratings for the type and concentration of contaminants. Comfort and wearability. Select PPE that is comfortable for extended wear, including considerations for weight, breathability, and ease of use. Maintenance and replacement. Consider ease of maintenance, cleaning, and replacement of filters or components. 40. Discuss various psychological factors that affect humans and cause accidents. Psychological factors influencing accidents include stress. High levels of stress can impair concentration, increase the likelihood of errors, and lead to accidents. Fatigue. Physical and mental fatigue reduces alertness and decision-making ability, increasing the risk of accidents. Workplace culture. A negative or unsafe workplace culture can lead to poor adherence to safety practices and increased accident rates. Mental health issues. Conditions such as anxiety, depression, or substance abuse can affect an individual's ability to perform tasks safely and effectively. Complacency. Overconfidence or complacency can lead to ignoring safety procedures and increased risk of accidents. 41. Explain the effects of heat stress on an individual and how to control them. Effects of heat stress. Heat exhaustion. Symptoms include heavy sweating, weakness, dizziness, and nausea. If untreated, it can progress to heat stroke. Heat stroke, a severe condition characterized by a high body temperature, confusion, and loss of consciousness. It requires immediate medical attention. Dehydration. Loss of fluids through excessive sweating can lead to dehydration, causing symptoms like dry mouth and reduced urine output. Control measures. Hydration. Ensure workers drink plenty of water throughout the day to stay hydrated. Cooling measures. Provide access to cool areas, fans, or air conditioning to reduce body temperature. Rest breaks. Schedule regular breaks to allow workers to cool down and recover. Appropriate clothing. Wear lightweight, breathable clothing to help regulate body temperature. Training. Educate workers on recognizing signs of heat stress and proper preventive measures. 40 to describe the types of PPE employed in industries and their importance. Types of PPE. Head protection. Helmets and hard hats protect against falling objects and head injuries. Eye protection. Safety glasses and goggles shield eyes from debris, chemicals, and radiation. Hearing protection. Earplugs and earmuffs reduce exposure to hazardous noise levels. Respiratory protection. Masks and respirators protect against inhalation of harmful substances. Hand protection. Gloves protect hands from cuts, burns, chemicals, and other hazards. Foot protection. Safety boots and shoes with protective toes and soles guard against injuries from falling objects and sharp objects. Importance. PPE is critical in preventing injuries and health issues, ensuring compliance with safety regulations, and maintaining a safe work environment. 43. Explain the adverse health effects of vibration and its preventive measures. Adverse health effects. Hand-arm vibration syndrome. HAVS symptoms include numbness, tingling, and reduced grip strength in the hands. Whole body vibration. WBV can cause back pain, digestive issues, and circulatory problems. Preventive measures. Vibration control. Use tools and machinery with reduced vibration levels or implement vibration dampening systems. Work practices. Rotate tasks and limit exposure time to reduce vibration impact. PPE. Provide gloves and ergonomic tools designed to reduce vibration exposure. Regular monitoring. Monitor vibration levels and health of workers to ensure compliance with safety standards and early detection of symptoms. 44. What are the categories of radiation? Explain. Categories of radiation. Alpha radiation consists of alpha particles, helium nuclei, that have low penetration power and can be stopped by a sheet of paper or skin. Alpha radiation is hazardous when ingested or inhaled. Beta radiation comprises beta particles, electrons or positrons, with moderate penetration power. It can penetrate the skin but is usually stopped by a few millimeters of plastic or glass. Gamma radiation consists of high-energy photons with high penetration power. It requires dense materials like lead or thick concrete for shielding. Neutron radiation consists of neutrons and has high penetration power. It is typically encountered in nuclear reactors and requires materials like water or boron for shielding. 45. Explain the notifiable diseases in Schedule 3 of the Factories Act. Schedule 3 of the Factories Act, 1948, includes diseases that are required to be reported to authorities. These diseases are lead poisoning caused by exposure to lead, leading to symptoms such as anemia, abdominal pain, and neurological issues. Mercury poisoning results from exposure to mercury, causing tremors, kidney damage, and neurological symptoms. Asbestosis Lung disease caused by inhaling asbestos fibers, leading to scarring of the lungs and respiratory issues. Pneumoconiosis, a group of lung diseases caused by inhaling dust particles, resulting in lung damage and breathing difficulties. 46. Explain the application of ergonomics in automation and industrial health. Application in automation. Design of workstations. Ergonomically designed workstations in automated environments help reduce physical strain and improve efficiency. This includes adjustable heights, comfortable seating, and optimal tool placement. User interface. Ergonomically designed user interfaces for automated systems ensure that controls are intuitive and reduce the risk of operator error. Application in industrial health. Reducing physical strain. Ergonomics helps in designing tools and machinery that minimize physical strain, reducing the risk of musculoskeletal disorders. Enhancing safety. Proper ergonomic design enhances safety by reducing awkward postures and repetitive motions that can lead to injuries. Improving productivity. Ergonomic improvements can lead to more efficient workflows and reduced fatigue, resulting in increased productivity and overall health benefits. 47. Describe the methods for preventing occupational diseases. Prevention methods. Risk assessment. Conduct regular risk assessments to identify potential hazards and implement control measures. Personal protective equipment. PP. Provide appropriate PP to protect workers from hazardous substances and conditions. Training and education. Train employees on safe work practices, proper use of PPE, and recognition of early symptoms of occupational diseases. Health surveillance. Implement regular health checkups and monitoring to detect early signs of occupational diseases. Engineering controls. Use engineering controls such as ventilation systems, enclosures, and safe work processes to minimize exposure to hazardous substances. 48. Explain the physiological test for the assessment of occupational health. Physiological tests. Lung function tests measure respiratory health and function to detect any impairments or diseases caused by exposure to airborne contaminants. Hearing tests assess hearing ability and detect any hearing loss due to exposure to excessive noise levels. Blood tests identify exposure to hazardous substances and assess overall health status. Vision tests evaluate visual acuity and detect any visual impairments resulting from exposure to harmful environments. Ergonomic assessments evaluate musculoskeletal health to identify any issues related to poor posture or repetitive tasks. 49. Discuss the differences between occupational diseases and injuries. Occupational diseases. Chronic nature. Occupational diseases develop over a long period due to continuous exposure to hazardous conditions. Examples include asbestosis and carpal tunnel syndrome. Long-term impact. These diseases often have long-term health effects and may not show symptoms immediately. Injuries. Acute nature. Injuries result from sudden accidents or incidents. They occur instantly or shortly after exposure to a hazardous event. Examples include cuts, fractures, and burns. Immediate impact. Injuries typically result in immediate symptoms and require prompt treatment. 50. Explain the methods for ventilation and exhaust systems to reduce heat stress. Ventilation methods. General ventilation. Use of fans and air circulators to enhance air movement and reduce overall heat levels in the work area. Local exhaust ventilation. Installation of localized exhaust systems near heat sources to capture and remove hot air and contaminants directly from the source. Cooling methods. Air conditioning. Use of air conditioning systems to lower the ambient temperature and improve overall comfort.